Hey, Pest Geeks. Happy Sunday. It's, you know what it is. It's Cigar Sunday. And got a couple here, too. See what I got in this, what I'm going to go with today. I've got I got two Alec Bradleys. I'm really liking Alec Bradleys. Um, I've got a Nicaragua and a Alec Bradley Collo, La Vega Collo. Well, you can see that. There we go. And then I got that one. So I'm going to go with the Koyo. I'm going to try that and see what happens. What a week, man. It's been, it's been a trying year. Last year was a very, very trying year. For the last 2 years, it's been a very trying year for me. Trying to get the business to the next level. You hit walls. You hit personal walls that you have to deal with, and you have a using my cutter here, we'll put that in here. Yeah, COVID, family, dealing with my mom. She's having a fit about everything now because she's 85 years old, so she can't figure out how to receive when they call her from Cuba on Messenger, how to receive the calls. She gets very, very agitated about that. And I had to get her a new phone because her old phone was 5 years old. She loved that Samsung because it was very easy to use. The newer phones, she's trying to figure out, do I swipe up? Do I swipe left? How do I receive the call? She doesn't understand the notifications and the headers. And I'm trying to get all this done for her, and she's having a fit where she says she's just going to throw that phone in the garbage. So, dealing with that, dealing with the business. Puff and rotate, baby. Puff and rotate. So, I'm dealing with all that, dealing with my children. And then I'm dealing with the whole issue with SEO now, where I fought hiring somebody for years because I wanted to hire the good firm, because I know the pitfalls of hiring for SEO, hiring for the marketing. Nobody's ever going to give it the attention that you're going to give it. Unfortunately, I'm at a point where I couldn't give it the attention, and I thought about hiring someone in-house. But hiring someone in-house to do SEO and to do social media SEO and to do all that, realistically, here locally, it's going to cost me about maybe $55,000 a year to bring in a reel. It's windy out here today. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful day. Sky's blue. And I just thought about, maybe I'll hire somebody in-house, but that's going to cost me $55,000. I'm not there yet. So I looked for an SEO company, and I know they're a good SEO company. Here's the challenge, folks. I'm in a top 10 market. 90% of people, 80% of people in America are not. If you're in a town where you can get 50,000 people in 4 counties, SEO is easy. You only have maybe 8 pest control. If you've got 5 pest control companies, you put up a website, you're automatically going to rank on the first page of Google. Anybody can get you on the first page of Google. It took me 2 years to get on the first page of Google and to rank number 3. And just this year, I managed to get it locally to rank number 1. That was a lot of work. And I knew the pitfalls of switching over and because they have to build a whole new website, because of course my infrastructure was bad. My articles, the grammar wasn't great, but my stuff was ranking. And I was ranking for things that I knew I could rank for because I look for niches. And I could rank for things very easily because I knew what customers were looking for, because I'm listening to my customers. I'm listening to the vocabulary they're using. And I'm using the Google Analytics. So I knew what people were searching for they couldn't find. I said, I'll get that market. And I did. And I was getting a ton of work from my SEO and from my YouTube videos. And the market got hard, and the calls just weren't coming in like they were coming in before. And I said, well, I got to do something. So I made a decision. I pulled the trigger. And something that was supposed to take maybe 30 to 45 days has taken 3 months. And I already knew that was going to be the case. And I told them I want to do ads, and I want to put in about $500 a month in ads to, between 200 and 500 to offset the time that I know it's going to drop. Second of all, we're a 65% Hispanic market. Well, they don't know Spanish. And I wrote articles and stuff, and then they're like, no, because it's going to be viewed as duplicate content, and it hurts you in your SEO. And I'm having this conversation. I said, but my stuff is ranking, and Google hasn't penalized me for it, and I know I'm ranking. And yes, it isn't best industry practices, but it's working. And this is the issue with it's kind of like your stuff's working, and they're wanting to be a perfectionist and do the best, and then they're not willing to take the chance, because if I tell them to do something and then it doesn't work out, they have an out. It's like same thing in pest control. You tell your customers, hey, listen, you need to clean, you need to exclude, you need to do this, you need to, and if the customer doesn't do it, you have your out. That's the issue with, this is my little cutie pie.
She's not that little anymore.
She's a pain in the butt.
Dada.
Watch my coffee. Don't kick it, please.
Probably as far away from
I don't know if you remember her, but she went on my podcast about 5 years ago, and she started talking about bugs. And yeah, because she knows all about bugs, because she's a pest.
No, I don't. I was like 7 years old, 6.
Yeah, something like that. So anyway, what I was saying, that I knew I was going to take the hit, and I knew that this was going to, until everything gets transitioned, and then my blog posts were supposed to get transferred, and we had this discussion at the beginning, and I mentioned it, and I tell them I know what to expect. I'm not uneducated in SEO. I'm not great at it, but I don't have a team of 5-6 people working for me. I did all this by myself, and I need to take it to the next level because I'm stagnant right now. And I realized every business is going to get stagnant. I knew I would get there. I just didn't know it was going to be during COVID. And I didn't know COVID was going to hit. I was still on track to do 25% growth this year. I was supposed to start my Broward route by the end of the year, and didn't happen. My 5-year plan got shot down, And so I'm having these discussions, and when I have discussions with people about this stuff, I bring it all up because I already know where the pitfalls are going to be. I know where the bottlenecks are. I know what to expect, and I'm having these conversations, and we're having 2, 3, 4-hour conversations about what I'm expecting, what I want, what I know about my market, about Hispanics. It's 65% Hispanic. You can't just target Americans. Says, well, Google, you can switch it in the top. I says, how am I going to educate an entire market to switch that at the top to Spanish when they're not using it? They're searching in Spanish on the English Google Chrome. That's just the way it is. We can't change human behavior because you want to. I mean, this is the perfectionist, technical person that is kind of like when I talk to some entomologists about running a pest control business, they're looking at me like, but you need to be doing this and this and this. And I said, yeah, but it's unpractical because you can't really do that when you're running a business. The same thing when you're doing certain things. They're not practical. So I'm asking, how many customers do you have that are this big, that are in this market? Well, we have big clients. I said, well, a big client is one thing. How many clients you have in the top 10 market? Well, now it turns out they only have 2, because when I ask questions, I get another answer, and then I keep asking the same question a different way because I'm not getting the answer I want. So when I'm interviewing all these guys, I've interviewed a lot of SEO people, and I've been burned by SEO people that didn't do anything that they were supposed to do. And this is why I've done it myself, but I know I need to delegate it. So I'm on a quandary between what I know I need to do and who do I delegate it to, because you can't validate to me what it is that you actually done, because you won't give me 100 websites in a 10 websites in a top 10 market for me to do the analytics on it and see how they're ranking, and then tell me what's the truth. So when I quote a price to a client, I'm going to quote the price that it takes for me to actually do it. I've had 2 conversations this weekend with 2 clients that I basically told, listen, I mean, you've got a 7-bedroom home and it's on 3/4 of an acre, and you're telling me that my competitor is doing it for $300. I said, there's no way in hell I'm going to do it for $300. I'm going to charge this much. But why are you charging more? Because this and this and this. And my competitor says he's going to spray mint oil in my house. And I said, good luck with that, getting control. And I'm explaining IPM. I'm educating a client who's looking for organic, knows about organics, doesn't understand IPM, and doesn't understand you're not going to solve an ant problem in South Florida with ghost ant, big-headed ant, crazy ant, and carpenter ants. And you're going to solve all these ant problems by spraying mint oil around the property. Good luck with that. So I'm telling him about my price and how we do it, and I spent 1.5 hours with this client. And I had another one that I just asked me. He says, I'm not happy with my pest control company. The company, is telling me he can't do quarterly, that he has to do it monthly, and I don't like people telling me what I have to do, high power people. So I walk in there and I basically tell him, your guy is absolutely right, what he's asserting, and you can't do quarterly lawn care on a property this big. This thing is like $5 million estate, somewhere like 3 to 5. And he's looking now to cut his costs. And he thinks that he's going to cut the pest control. So I'm having this conversation with these people, and they're not getting it. I said, you now your ficus are all defoliated. Now you got weeds everywhere because you wanted quarterly and you want me to do it. And I says, listen, whatever he's charging you, I need you to multiply it by 2. I guarantee you I'm going to be twice as expensive. And I said, well, I need you to write me a price, and it needs to be affordable. I says, listen, I want you to drink your medication, your blood pressure medication, and I want you to be sitting down when I give you my price, because I don't want you getting hurt and then blame me for it. And this is how I really talk to people. These are high-power people, and I have to manage them. And I manage high-power people very effectively because I've been negotiating my entire life. If you're a Cuban, you're born negotiating. And you're not easily swayed by people. Trust me, you don't want to try to negotiate with a Cuban. This is actually really good, man. I'm really liking Alec Bradley's. I've been smoking a bunch of them already. Iced coffee, no drinking for me today, because I had about 6 glasses of white wine at Joel's wedding last night. For those of you who saw my videos, you wish you could have seen me dancing, but nobody would take a video of me because it was their wedding. Who's going to pay attention to me? So it was actually really fun. It was really, really fun to be there and be with another pest control guy. And we didn't have anybody to talk to us. We didn't know anybody there except the bride and the groom, and they were doing their thing. They're not there to have conversations with me. It's just not that important, which is crushing. But anyway, so I'm having these issues that I'm negotiating with this guy, and it's like, listen, it's not going to happen. I'm going to give you my price. My price is going to be my price. And when I educate you and I spend 30 minutes with him walking around his property, irrigation is off. They're not. The landscaper is not mowing it right. There's all these issues, and I said, you got to fix these, because if you hire me, I'm not going to fix all this for you because your landscaper's bad. We kill bugs, we control diseases. I can't make things look pretty if you have bad cultural practice. And this is what I'm educating these people on, because they got this impression that I'm just going to come in and just spray stuff and it's miraculous, it's going to look beautiful. So anyway, this thing is starting to shut off early on me, which is not good. It's a little tight, but it's got great flavor. I highly recommend this one. So we're having those challenges where we want to grow. By the way, none of these calls were produced by the SEO. One was produced by the Facebook ad that I told them to write 30 days ago. The click came in from that. And then my other one I'm sorry. Both of these were through my YouTube videos. The only thing producing any calls right now are my YouTube videos. This is why I like multiple streams of leads, because if one messes up, I'm not totally dependent on it. And one of these calls from videos usually will produce high level, because the people that call me realize, they're not going to be paying $39 prices with me. So I create value through a lot of this marketing. And what happens is, you know what I want to do? I just thought about this morning. I'm going to segue all over the place today. You welcome to my mind of how I actually think. I have to actually sit there and think about what I'm going to say, because if not, I just have random thoughts all the time. Thank God I don't have Tourette syndrome. That would be really, really messed up. But where was I? Oh, I thought about doing a CEU teaching, where we go out to an open place and I can get a giant screen behind me and I can do CEU training outside, and you guys can just sit there with coffees and cigars, and we can actually do a cigar and CEU. So I don't know, bro, it's wacky, but hey, it might work. I mean, if you're into cigars and CEUs, this will be pretty awesome. So I thought about that. So going back to my SEO, CEUs, SEOs, I'm getting all my acronyms messed up. Anyway, if they would have listened to me when I'm telling them, I said, guys, I'm stagnant right now. I'm going to start bleeding money if I don't get the marketing up very quickly. I want to get this done. And they were like, no, we need to just make sure the website is up. Well, the website took 3 months. And once it's up, then because we got to get the branding consistent, and we want to make sure. And then, well, why aren't the ads up yet? If the website is up, it took another month after that, because I'm not the only client. I get it. But when you tell me you're going to do something, I expect you to do it. Especially when I'm calling you, especially when we're having conversations and I keep bringing it up and I keep reiterating it. And I've told you for the 15th time, or is it the 15th time or the umpteenth time? I don't know where umpteen comes from, but I keep hearing that all the time. And I'm telling you this, and I'm having these conversations, and we're investing hours and hours in conversations about the future and what my goals are and what my marketing is. And they're coming out. I don't know for what reason. They don't even like being outside. No, go ahead, go inside. Let him be inside if he wants to.
I get a little bit.
Watch about my cup. Don't hit my cup. No.
I want a little bit.
You want a little bit. You want to see the folks on camera?
You can't see anybody.
Well, I know, but he can see the camera. See, look, the people are looking at you. Come here. Wait, no. You can't go through there. Don't go through there. Come through the back. No, you can't go through there. Come to the back. I'll go around this side.
I want to sit
down. I know. You want to sit with me. Okay. All right.
Clingy.
Yeah, I know. Leave him alone. Mwah. So anyway, just don't kick the camera, dude.
Okay.
Because people are going to not be able to see. So anyway, I'm having these conversations. And when I'm having the conversations and you keep telling me, yeah, but. At one point, I got to say, are you really working? And then the ads are running, but they're running in the background. I can't see them. So then I start getting suspicious about things when you're telling me things and I'm telling you and you keep coming back with yeah, but, and no answers. It's just like with employees. If I'm telling you things and you keep coming back with excuses and you're not doing what you supposed to be doing, at one point I got to get suspicious. Are you doing what I'm asking you to do? No, leave him alone. All right, you want to go inside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Piggyback right inside in the room.
Okay, no, Sophia, be careful. Do not hurt him. These two. Okay.
Hey y'all.
He weighs 50 pounds.
Hi y'all.
No, okay, go back. He weighs 50 pounds. 55. That kid is like I compare. See, I start comparing my kid's weight by packaging. They used to weigh as much as
By dirt packages.
Go away. Go away.
Ew.
Go away.
Ew.
Sorry, you stuck your face in the way. Go away. So there's grandma screaming at them because they are. I'm telling you, bro, it's like a 3-ring circus in my house. And I'm the ringleader and my monkey, my zoo kind of deal. So I'm having these conversations, and it's like you either not having any empathy, no sympathy, when I'm telling you now I'm bleeding because I'm paying my people and the work is going down and I need you to move and I need to get this done and let's run ads. And I'm telling you, let's run ads. And you're telling me no because we want people to have a positive experience with the website. I said, I'd rather run ads and get a phone call than not have anything at all. And so this is what's happening around me where I'm talking to people and I'm talking to vendors and they're not getting it. I'm talking to employees, they're not getting it. I'm talking to my people who are supposed to be looking out for my best interest. They're not getting it. And when we had the conversation in the beginning, and I am telling you how I want you to close me, I'm giving you clues throughout this whole conversation of what I'm at. If you tell me how much it is, I'll write the check. I just want to know how much it is. I want to know where the goal is. You can't keep moving the goal on me. So if you tell me these things, I write the check. So I've written the check to the tune of 10 grand right now to get this done. And if I would have known, and when I told you I had all these pages and all these things, and I said, I know data migration, and I know that we're going to be building, I know I'm going to take a hit on my SEO. I just know it. And it's going to take about 2 to 3 months to build it back up. That's why I want to run ads. And it's not happening. So now my ads finally started running this Saturday after 3 months of not being able to run them. I could have done those ads myself. But here's my position. If I hire you to do a job, here's the catch-22. If I hire you to do a job and I tell you what I expect and I educate you on me and what I expect and how to get things done, and you don't do it, and then I go ahead and I stick my fingers in it, that's micromanagement. I haven't micromanaged this whole thing. I let them run with it. I gave them my input. I looked at the work. I approved everything quickly. I make decisions quickly. I don't sit on them. You know, if you give me a decision on a Saturday evening or on a Friday evening, I will have an answer for you by Saturday morning, 24 hours later, at best. Some days I'll just like, yeah, I liked it. Let's go with it. I don't need to think about it. I move quick. So, you know, and you get back my results very quickly. So I got the Spanish pages and I give them to my tech guy because he's a linguist instructor, especially in Spanish. He knows the language very, very well. He understands marketing. So I'm giving it to him on Friday. He's going to have it to me by tonight, finished, about 20 pages that we need to correct SEO in Spanish and get those things back up and running. These are conversations that I had that I said, we need those pages. We can't ignore them. My blog, we have a huge blog that I want to bring over. How much is it going to be? You gave me a price. Here's what I want to tell you about this, guys, and vendors that are listening to me and SEO guys that are listening. If you use a low price to bring me in, to then try to sell me all the add-ons afterwards, I'm going to be really pissed. Because if I ask you what is it going to take to do, I want the real number. Well, the problem is if we tell people the real number, then most people aren't going to buy, and then we got it. So basically it's bait and switch. If I'm hearing your vocabulary correctly. When I asked you how much is it, and I told you how much it's going to take, I said, I don't think you can do it for that price, honestly. I think the price is more like this. No, we can do it. And I'm expecting a 6x return on my marketing. We can do 10%. I said, you know, you're writing checks. I hope your mouth can cash. You know, and so I'm okay. If you tell me you're going to do something, you tell me you got it, I'll write the check. I put my money where my mouth is. If I charge expensive rates, I want the best people working for me, and I'll pay the best rates to get the results. So here we are $10,000 later in this investment. I'm going to be paying another $1,800 now to top this off 3 months later. And my stuff isn't at par. Now, am I being unreasonable? I don't think so. I just had a hard conversation with them over on Saturday about the direction of this relationship and what I expect. And when I tell you things and I discuss them with him, when you call me and we have endless conversations, if I sit around with people around a table and my executive team and whoever when I was an executive, and I would say, guys, this is what we have to do. What's your input? What's your input? What's your input? What's your input? And where do we have to go? And then we agree that we're going to get this done. And a month later, you're coming back giving me excuses of why you couldn't do it and why you couldn't do it and why you couldn't do it. I'm going to be really pissed. ¿Cómo estamos, caballero? Tranquilo. I'm going to be pissed because we wasted a lot of saliva and we got a lot of head nodding and we had the agenda and you didn't execute. I'm going to be pissed. So right now I'm pissed. This is me pissed. And you know what? The podcast is a little bit of a therapy for me. So I don't end up shooting people. I have an outlet to vent a little bit. You're not going to hear me complain, man. I mean, it's 6 years of me doing this podcast. You've heard me twice really get upset and complain. And I don't like firing people and I don't like getting rid of people, but I'm at the point in my life where if I make myself clear to you and we have an understanding, you shake my hand, you take my money, whether you're an employee, whether you're a vendor, I don't care. Whether you're a partner, and you don't execute on what we agreed, I'm going to be replacing you really soon. And I make this clear. These are the conversations I'm having when I'm consulting with people. I says, you're not making things clear to your people when you're hiring them. You're on the documents. You're depending on the job description, the employee manual. Didn't you read the employee manual? No, the reality is nobody reads. The employee manuals and job descriptions and contracts are just like end user agreements on software. You basically scroll down through the whole thing and say yes at the bottom and hit next so you can buy the software. You never read the 1,000 words, the 23,000 words that were in there. People treat that just like marriage vows these days. They mean absolutely nothing. So I'm having a conversation with you when I hire you. I'm having a conversation when I talk to my vendors. I make things clear. I come across as an ass sometimes. But if I'm bringing myself clear so that we understand each other, so there's no misunderstandings, I do this with my clients when I go over the agreement. Everything I discuss with them on the phone is actually in my agreement in order. So that, and it's bullet pointed and it's highlighted and there is no misunderstandings. And you can't come back to me a week later and say, well, you just didn't get my bugs. And I said, I told you I needed 30 days. It's in my contract. I need 30 days. I need 60 days for this. And my initial service fee that I charge you includes 3 follow-ups for me to solve this problem for you, but you need to give me the 30 days, and I'm following up week after week with you. After week 1, you can't demand that your ants are gone. It's going to take 2 weeks, 3 weeks total for me to get control. And then we evaluate. So when I tell you that I understand the analysis, I want weekly meetings on the progress. I'm not micromanaging you. I'm asking you to be accountable for the things you said that were going to get done. And when we have the meeting on Monday morning, I want to know why it isn't done when we had the conversation. You can't see what a lot of people are used to, and a lot of these companies, this is where you need to watch out for, guys. All these companies, and I'm not saying they are preying, I'm using this word very loosely, but a lot of companies are preying, not preying on you, but praying that you really don't know anything, because then you ask too many questions. Second of all, nobody knows SEO. This is why I tell you guys, I do stuff first for a year, 2 years. And then I hand them off. But then I know if you know, because I can ask questions. And they know. I know that they know. I know that they know, and they have the people that know. On my website, from a architectural backbone and from a coding perspective, spot on. That developer is spot on. I ran it through Gmatrix, and it comes back at 100%. My website didn't come up to 100%. I only got about 90, 80 something things I couldn't fix. They got it spun up, but here's the deal. I'm an amateur. That's why I paid you the big bucks, for you to get it 100% right. I didn't pay you to get it 95, because I could have gotten it to 95 if I put enough effort into it. I pay you for that 100%. You don't deserve a pat on the back for getting that right. However, I still do, and I said, man, this came out awesome. Thank you. I still give you the credit, but I'm expecting it. Just like a customer is expecting no roaches. A customer is not expecting to have roaches after you've done your service. They're going to fire you. So when you don't know anything, what these companies are calling you, dialing you up, and they're because they understand you don't know. And the problem is, most of you are in markets that anybody can rank you, really, if they tried. I mean, you could rank it yourself if your on-page SEO was good enough without backlinks. I already proven you don't need backlinks anymore to rank a website. Backlinks are really irrelevant anymore. Backlink building. I've built entire websites with no backlinks, and I've got the backlinks organically. People wanted to backlink to me. Go ahead and look at my videos, how I SEO them. I pay $80 a month for the SEO software to SEO my videos. I put a lot of money into, to the tune of about $600 a month, what I was putting into software just to do SEO. So I know a lot. I know a lot more than the average bear. Those are things that I'm dealing with, because now I got to hire, and I said, we got 90 days. I'm giving you 90 days. I'm giving you 90 more days. I'm being very generous. Now, they said they're not going to charge me for 90 days, which and they haven't charged me for the last 2 months because they haven't gotten it done. They just charged me for the SEO and a lot of things, which, you know, my package is like $1,500 a month. And I'm going to give you the turn on the coin, because I need to be fair and equitable. They have given me for the last 2 months. I had to pay an extra $5,000 for transferring all those pages over and getting them edited and all that. And I understood that. I already knew that was going to happen. I knew they couldn't do all that, and we're just going to bring them all over and put them in and link them back, and so you don't get a 404 and get a 301 redirect. And I understand all that language. And I said, okay, you said you can get it done. I trust you. Well, they came back to me and said, no, we need an extra $5,000 to get that accomplished. And I said, okay, here's the check. I already knew it. It didn't faze me. So I wrote it. And now, so they haven't charged me. But here's the thing, guys. The fact that, well, here's what they don't understand from a business perspective. The fact that I'm losing $10,000 a month in revenue, their $1,500 a month free doesn't amount to a hill of beans. It's a nice courtesy. I appreciate it. But when people screw up and they want to give you something for free when it's costing you 10x that, is not a consolation prize. So when you're hiring a company, if you look, here's where they're used to. Here's what they're used to. Most SEO companies, what they're used to. You're starting out in business. You don't have a website. If you have a website, it's terrible. You did it on Wix or something like that, and you did a terrible job, and you're not even ranking. You got basically a glorified brochure that nobody knows exists. Tearing it down and building a new one isn't a big deal, because you're not going to lose your ranking. You don't have any ranking. When you're actually ranking and you're getting 5 to 10 calls a day off of that website, which translates to about easy $2,000 a week in new business just from that website, then it hurts. And I was expecting to lose it, that ranking. I anticipated that. And therefore, I wanted ads. Now I got my ads. Now we're going to do Spanish ads too. My guy's translating those ads so that we can get it right. We're going to be doing next door advertising, which I think is great. I don't have the time to engage anymore the way I used to. I can't be in groups engaging when I first started and I had all the time in the world. I don't have it. I need to automate this process. I need to be more tactical and less, I can't engage. I don't have a community manager right now. the good thing is my media guy knows how to code. And what's difficult about getting these sites on these platforms, they're super fast, but it's going to require me to buy my own platform if I decide to fire my SEO company and take the reins of it. It isn't like WordPress. You actually need to have a coder. Good thing my guy is a coder. He knows how to code. He knows CSS and HTML, and believe it or not, there is still some old school stuff going on, but he can do it. He's done it. He's done it for a living. And I might tell him, hey, bro, just come over full time and work for me on this project and handle the social media, because he knows how to do video. He knows how to create graphics. He knows how to code. I mean, this guy has done it all, because that's what he did for 18 years at his church. He ran all the media ministry for that church, online radio station, coded from scratch. And I'll say, I'll bring you over, and just, I'm not going to be able to pay what you're expecting, but I'll pay you what you're making now plus, and bring you over. And I'm really contemplating that stuff. It's going to cost me probably $40,000 a year to bring him for the time being, and then I'll throw in a compensation package on sales growth, and he could be making $55,000-$60,000 in a year with me, doing what he does. But he wants to do his own thing, and he wants to do this partnership with what we're doing, and he doesn't necessarily want to be an employee, but maybe we only do it for a year, and then you help me build a team. I got to be able to work out a strategy. I got to be able to negotiate. I got to be able to have a plan B. So if you're starting up from scratch, great. If you're in a small market, yeah, a company can do any SEO for $500 a month and get you ranked. Not in a place like Miami, man. We're the 6th largest market in the country. We have a larger population in Florida now than New York has. We're the 3rd largest state. I have 400 competitors online that I'm going to beat out, that I beat out already. I'm ranking, my site was ranking nationally. The reason I know it's ranking nationally is I'm starting to get calls from all over the country, which I've been giving leads away like crazy online, if you see my posts. And I need to get all that back. Dame ver, mami. Okay. Give me a second. This is what she's upset about. She can't figure this out. Oye. My niece is calling from Cuba. Oye. Hold on, guys, because I'm getting a call from Cuba. Ya está, mami. Ya está. Yeah, she doesn't know swipe right, swipe left, down. I mean, these phones are getting complicated, man. For an 85-year-old woman, I can sympathize with her. So I'm trying to help her. I'm thinking that, why don't you make the call? I'll show you how to make the call and wait instead of trying to receive the call. Trying to find a solution here, folks, for everybody. So anyway, guys, that's the week. The wedding was awesome for Joel. I'm so happy for him. I've been, the God puts people in my life at a point in their life where they need something, and I'm there to provide it. One of the things that I've been thinking about on a lighter note, and changing the subject on you because it's kind of depressing. I'm trying to relax. See, guys, a lot of people told me you need to keep a journal. Keep a journal. Keep a journal and write, and keep a journal and write. The problem is, heck, you guys don't even understand what I write half the time because my grammar is terrible. I hate writing. Why would I keep a journal? I'd just be like really angry all the time. It looks like something, like Jeffrey Dahmer wrote in my journals, and then people read that and then they freak out. I'm kind of like Jesus at times. I say things and I say things and I say things, and then I blow up, and people are like, man, he had a meltdown. Had a freaking meltdown. I had one guy I was consulting, and I totally reamed his manager, and he says, man, you had one hell of a meltdown. I said, bro, I'm trying to talk to you, and you're being, you're puppy dogging me, and you're not listening. And Jesus went into the temple, and he turned over the tables, took a bullwhip, and beat the tar out of those guys. By the way, this is Jesus, the guy who says you shall love thy neighbor and turn the other cheek. So Jesus says you need to be just like me. So I say, hey, why not? Uh, so yeah. So what was I going at? Let's see here. All you guys that are suffering out there, that I know COVID has hit you guys, and you've had losses, and you've had just a terrible time and losing it. Guys, I understand. During COVID, I had to fire my technician. He was going through a rough time at his marriage and his home with his parents, and I feel terrible. And I'm going through my stuff, and I'm trying to talk to people, and I'm consulting you, and I'm comforting you, and I'm there for you. But if you can't help yourself, I can't help you. And keeping a journal, and I said, I would just lose my mind keeping a journal. So this is my journal. I'm journaling to you what's happening during the week, because I do have empathy and I do have sympathy for people, and I know what you're going through. And the Godly Business podcast that just launched, man, are people grateful for that? I'm getting messages from all over, people just thanking me for that. I'm feeling a need that is needed in people's lives. Church, a lot of pastors live in a bubble. They don't get it. They don't understand. They can't minister you to in a lot of those areas because most of the time they don't have those areas together either. All I'm doing is journaling my weekly activity, what's going on, how I solved it, how I dealt with it. I think this is helping a lot of people because we're being honest, we're being transparent about the real business life, about what it's really like to run a pest control business, what it's really like to balance your family, be there for your kids, have the money that you need. Ben Williams is, poor guy, man. He's had asthma his entire life. He runs a pest control business with asthma. And he got COVID, and he's really hurting. And after COVID, it's left him with big problems. And he has to run a business, feed his seven children, deal with his wife, and that can become overwhelming. So I put a link out, and Paul Bello, his wife, put out a GoFundMe, which, thank you so much for that. That I didn't think about it, and I don't deserve the credit for that. That's all Paul Bello and his wife doing that. So I just want to share it because I have a position where I can share things, and I have a platform, and I need to use it for as much good as I can. And that's what really it's about. It's not creating a platform for myself to stand on a pedestal and pound my chest and be a pompous ass, but it is to do the most good that I can for people. Discussing this week, the whole issue with IPM. I've got a very special guest coming on for that. That's what she deals with. She deals with protocols for school IPM. And she's going to give us the breakdown, but I ran through her what I was talking about, what I did, and she totally agrees with me that yes, what you're doing is IPM. And I welcome people to come on board to my podcast, correct me if I'm wrong, teach me, teach us, deal with the real issues, deal with what nobody's talking about, and encourage people to keep going. So I'm going to do another video this week on IPM, shed some more light on that, shed some more light on assessment-based pest management, on biological observation, on entomologically sound pest management, that are new terms entering into the pest control industry. The pest control industry is going through a shakeup of terms, which is positive. It's all positive. I agree totally 100% with these guys. First of all, I would have very little leg to stand on personally to disagree with them. I mean, these are legends in the industry who see things we don't see, but I think a lot of the time some of them are focused on their big picture. And what we're dealing mostly with, you and I, is this: apartment buildings and single-family homes. We're not dealing with airports. We're not dealing with the Nestles of the world. We're not dealing in hospitals. Um, we don't have $25 million a year restaurants that we service. We don't do HUD inner city properties. And I think what I like to do is eventually get it down to the little guy down here where we're at and have all these guys on a panel discussion to discuss the real pros and cons and really have an honest discussion, not to debate of who's right and who's wrong, but to really have a nice panel discussion, a beautiful conversation about the realities that we face and how those challenges. And I think Paul Bello is probably one of the most qualified guys in that arena. And the reason is because he's actually owned the pest control business. He's written a lot of the labels, the combat manual, the cockroach combat manual with Austin Frischman, the bed bug manual. I'm going to his conference in March for that reason. I know he gets it. He's down there in the trenches. But he's also been up here. And, you know, if I can learn 1% from him, man, will my life be so much better. I want to bring a lot of this stuff into the teaching. I want to start doing the local meetings with guys traveling around the cities doing local meetings. Why? Zoom is awesome. I've been saying that we need to do more this training video because 99% of all CEU is lecture. Lectures can be easily translated. Nobody sits there and asks a million questions and has projects. Paul Bello is going to be doing like a case study where you're going to create a case study. That's practical. 99% of CEU that I've gone to can easily be turned into video. This has been what I've been saying. I said, we live in a society where people are, it's either or. I'm more of an and. Why can't it be this and that? Why can't we have a webinar where we do the 80% lecturing and maybe 20% hands-on, where we meet up and then we put it to actual practice? I want to bring the best of both worlds because I realize the need for people to get together and network, to congregate. This is why the Bible, and I'm not going to get religious on you, I'm giving you practical stuff. The Bible talks of do not forsake the assembling together of each other, not because we need to listen to a message. We can get the message from YouTube. But because we need to, this human need to connect with people. Look how many people are depressed and struggling and hurting because they haven't had any interaction with people. I crave that. I'm at home working all day, and this is what I did, but I would be able to go out, hang out with my friends, go out at night, have dinner, go meet people. And when that couldn't happen for a couple of months, it was tough. So this is why I want to start doing the traveling next year, and I might do it sometime this year, where we're having local meetings, and we're getting maybe 10 guys together, and we're doing CEU classes locally, and doing some practical stuff. I've invited people, hey man, whenever you want to come down to Miami and ride with my guys and see what we do, my doors are open. You're not going to be able to get me all the time. You're not going to be able to hang out with me. I'm busy doing what I'm doing, but my doors are open to you. That if you want to come down to Miami and ride with one of my guys for L&O or for GHP and ride an entire day and see how we're doing it, see how our process works, look at our product, look at our trucks, man, that's open to you. I'm an open book. I'll share everything with you. I'm going to start doing local classes where we have hands-on, where we actually teach people how to do what we do physically, because a lot of people, no matter how much videos I do, no matter how many lectures I do, this is how they learn. They learn by doing. And I'm doing one of them on apprenticeships and discipleship and how the church has missed it and the business world has missed it. Everything can't be a video. Everything has to be hands-on too. This is how real apprenticeships work. So I'm looking at both sides. I'm listening. I get it. I understand. A lot of times people see my videos and I explain it. They still want to talk to me on the phone. They want to hear it from me, not from a video. And I get it. So these are things that I'm pondering. I'm bringing out these new teachings on pest control, that things that people never heard of. We're going to be discussing my academy. Here's one of the things that I was pondering on this morning, and I decided I'm going to do. I'm going to give away my introductory to pest control course to anyone who wants it. Once I got it up, which is about 95% there, that's going to be the first one. I'm going to give away that one for life. Why? If I want to make an impact, I need to remove all the barriers to entry. I can't do it if when I tell a guy, yeah, but if I got to spend $300 on a course and my guy quits in 1 week, I'm out $300 and I know that guy's going to quit. We realize that, listen, when you hire, you're going to have to go through about 10 people before you find the one that's going to stick with you in reality. I understand that pain. So if I remove the excuse of why your guy can't learn what IPM is, he can't learn pest control law, he can't learn how to apply pesticides correctly, how to get the SDS training. These are stuff everybody charges between $50 and $100 for one of those. You know, I'm giving you away about $500 to $600 worth of training in that first introductory course, and I'm doing it for free. Better course than NPMA is doing. When we talk about silica and drilling and all the safety and learning how to interpret an SDS and how to interpret a label, it's going to be about 9 hours worth of training by the time we're done with that introductory course. That course right there, that one first course, that doesn't even include how to perform pest control. That I'm going to charge you for. But if you got a new guy, you say, go through this course and see if you make it. And that guy doesn't make it, you're out of nothing. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to give it away for free to the world. Whoever wants it. If you're thinking about getting into pest control and you want to know what real pest control is about, that course, you can study it in your own time and say, do I want to be in the pest control industry? I'm going to attract people to the pest control industry. I'm going to do what NPMA hasn't done, what no association has done, what CPCO hasn't done, what the universities haven't done. I'm going to do that. I'm going to accomplish that. I'm going to mainstream pest control, what real IPM is, because what I am practicing is real IPM. You're never going to convince me otherwise, because I'm going to show you during the next couple of weeks that I'm right about IPM. And the reason I know I'm right about IPM is that I didn't learn IPM from General Pest Control. I didn't learn it from Lawn and Ornamental. I actually learned IPM from the agricultural industry when I decided I was going to build my protocols, and everybody was trying to tell me that how I needed to design a truck and design all my lawn and ornamental. I decided, let me go to agriculture. And I have a big agriculture community here near me, and I have the entire, the extension service. And I started talking about organics and organic control and organic agriculture and IPM. Okay, that's weird. Let's go. And I learned to do IPM, and IPM is inspection intensive. Our secret, I've always said, is in the follow-ups. We follow up automatically at 2 weeks when there's a fungus problem. We follow up automatically every 7 days on natural pest control. I understand IPM. It's intensive in inspection. What we do is we build it into our protocols to inspect, so that we know, we monitor it. Action thresholds is the only thing you really can't do, and we do have action thresholds. Well, I'll walk on the property and I'll see a little bit of fungus on the lawn. It says it isn't enough for us to treat. Don't treat it when it's, but that takes 1 to 3 years to teach a technician that. But I learned how to do low volume applications because I observed it in agriculture. I observed all the equipment that they were using. I started doing demonstrations on it, and the vendors were pissed because that was going to cut product sales by 66% in lawn and ornamental. I took that and I translated it over to GHP. This is what GHP was so easy, because lawn and ornamental is 5 times harder than GHP. So when people say I don't know what I'm talking about, I'm challenging people right now and I ask, is the SDS part of the labeling? And half of you say no. Half of you said yes. Well, guess what? You both can't be right. Only one of you is right and one of you is wrong. You say, and then you say, yeah, it's yes and no because of this. No, it's yes or no. The law is pretty black and white when it comes to the law. How you interpret it can be a whole bunch of gray. The law is still black and white. And I'm doing all this, and I'm listening to you guys, and I'm observing what's going on, and I'm finding the pain points that you guys are struggling with, and then I'm turning that into education. See, this is why I ask stupid questions. You're wondering on my podcast, why does he make these comments? A lot of times I'll ask a question and I don't get any answers, but I'll make an inflammatory comment with the question involved, and then I'll get to the real truth. See, when I go like that and I stick my finger in your wound, I get to figure out if you're really wounded or not. So that's what I'm doing. I mean, I've had 2 callbacks this week that I discussed. In case you missed it, go back and listen to these podcasts where I'm dealing with on the road. I'm taking my camera on the road. Every problem, every callback, every situation, I'm going to be recording it to show you, not to show you how great we are, because we're not, but how it is that I'm handling it. And the time I really lose it with people is when people get stupid. Excuse me. Some people out there are a special kind of stupid. You got to really work hard at it to be that stupid. And a lot of you are just entrenched in the way it's done. And this is why I don't plan to convert 70-year-olds that are ready to retire, 65-year-olds. And this is the reason why I work with youth and why I enjoy working with youth. Because you can't teach a lot of old dogs any new tricks. This old dog right here learns new tricks every day. But see, I have a teachable spirit. I have a big mouth, but I have a teachable spirit. I do listen to everybody, especially when I know that you got my attention. And I listen intently. Like, I wish you guys could experience a teacher like Faith Oy at PMU. She's the kind of teacher that gets you excited about learning. I wish I would have had more teachers like her. The teachers I can remember in my life were those kind of teachers that challenge me and provoke me to prove them wrong, to think, where they have an enormous amount of sense of humor. Man, she can own a room and command a room and do it with such grace without being that I have to control everything and everybody and dominate. She just naturally walks in and controls that room. Joe Jonovich, outstanding job. Mitola was really funny. I would have thought he was a lot because of what I've seen. He looks like stern. He's an inspector for the Florida Department of Agriculture, for FDAX. Don was there, one of the inspectors. I got a lot of respect for those guys because of what they see and they experience, and you would think they tend to get that roughness from having to deal with really bad stuff that people do. And when Don said, he says, look, 90% of the time we pull over guys and we stop is because something is seriously wrong. I see you not wearing your PPE. I'm going to pull over and I'm going to talk to you. And we're going to have an inspection. If you're wearing your PPE, chances are I'll never bother you. If your truck you don't leave your truck open while you're working, chances are I'm going to drive right by and never bother you. It's when they see something wrong or somebody calls in to complain that they have to get involved, and now they have to get involved. It made me rethink a lot of things. This is why I'm bringing these questions up about SDS. They pointed out a lot of things about SDS that I didn't know about, that nobody ever, see, when I've gone to CEU, nobody's ever covered an SDS. They always cover the label and they cover the application. Chemical manufacturers cover the application. They'll teach the basics. You need to know the, what does the code mean, in the EPA number. How many products you're going to buy that are illegal? The active ingredient. Okay, we know the active ingredient percentage. The inactive ingredients, we don't know what they are. The caution, where is the precautionary statements? And we cover all the 8 things on the label that every label has that everybody should know, and they just glance over it because they're really not there to really cover a lot of the stuff. They're there more to talk about their product. That's been my experience in Miami. I don't know what it's like. I just saw one out of Connecticut, one CEU course that they were teaching, that they put the list of the curriculum for the CEU training. I was blown away. I mean, there's some CEU training going on in the industry that is amazing. Just not in Miami. Remember, we are a BIFIN and B&G town. That's what I was told by my supplier, one of my suppliers. So this is why did I start the podcast? Go listen to the first episode, 380 something podcasts ago. And why I started the podcast. Well, it's still true today, 6 years later. Everybody's still proving me true that nobody is getting trained. I just had this last week, 3 people write to me and says, man, thank you so much for I'm new to pest control and nobody is training me. They just threw me out there. That's what, and the culture is, they've got 10 technicians and they're called a 50-year-old company. They got 10 technicians and every technician is doing it their own way because the owners, they just let everybody do everything their own way. Everybody's doing it, so I'm getting trained by these guys and everybody's doing it differently. There's no consistency in the quality. These are the things I'm dealing with. So I'm going to become the most hated guy in pest control, yet I'm going to become the most loved guy by a bunch of people. And that's who it really matters to me too. The guy that I'm actually making a difference in their life, I could care less. I got a thick skin, guys. You're talking to a Cuban that could easily be in New York City and Brooklyn and will take you on because I did do business there. I did an enormous amount of business in the Northeast to the tune where I would manage 1,500 contracts in 22 states east of the Mississippi, pretty much everything east of the Mississippi. And I managed $13 million and I negotiated contracts over the phone to the tune of $13 million. So when people tell me you can't sell over the phone, I say, no, you can't sell over the phone. But I close $600 contracts on lawn all day long on the phone, all the time. Can you do a termite treatment and sell it on the phone? Yes, you can. Do you still have to do an inspection? Yes, you do. But I develop formulas. I already, by what I've learned this week, I already figured out formulas in my head that I can use to estimate the prices. You still got to perform the inspection. It is still based on inspection. Guess what? We sell it over the phone and we still have to do an inspection. We tell the client, listen, this is what I told you. This is what you have. This is what I measured. Everything is by 1,000 square feet. This is what I expect you to do. And if you want a warranty on our service, your landscaper needs to be spot on. If your landscaper takes 3 weeks to show up and you call me and I go there and I see rotted lawn, I said, yep, we're going to go there. We're going to service it and we're going to charge you extra for that. Because you wanted an IPM program, you wanted a reduced chemical program, then they need to be spot on. And we're going to go do an inspection of landscape, and my guy's taking videos and pictures of everything and consulting the client and saying, okay, see how it's shredded? It needs to sharpen its blade. You see how it's 1.5 inches? It needs to be 3 inches. When I come back and I measure it and you haven't done it, I can't help you. When we tell people, hey, we need to do this and this for roaches, and you still haven't fixed it 2 months later in an apartment and there's a hole this big where a cat can go through, and you haven't fixed it, I'm going to put tape over it. And we're going to temporarily hold that off, but it's still your responsibility to fix it. If you got thresholds on your door and you got a gap this big and you haven't fixed it, and you come back to me a month later, I'm going to have a conversation whether you want to stay with us as a client. Because you hired me because you wanted an eco-friendly program, you wanted an IPM, you wanted a reduced chemical program. I can't do it if you don't cooperate. So we have those difficult conversations with our clients because our clients are wanting something specific. If they want it, they have a responsibility to do their part so that we can honor our commitment. And we make that very clear and transparent. It's in my contract. So we're talking about all these things and all this stuff that's going on in the industry and how we're dealing with it and how we're making a difference. We're going to be introducing our new holistic pest management program that we're going to be training on holistic pest management. My goal is in the next 10 years, we're going to have holistic pest management trainers all over the country that are going to train at your location. And we're going to take over a lot of the training that the manufacturers are now doing. That's the vision. We're gonna influence the end user where the end user is demanding a holistic pest management service because IPM is not marketable. Yet we're going to be doing IPM. We're going to be doing a modified version for you guys that are purists. And we're not going to call it IPM. We're going to call it holistic pest management. Therefore, you can't tell me, well, you're not doing IPM. I said, no, you're right, I'm not. You see, I end up the argument with you. I'll say, yep, we're doing holistic pest management, which is assessment-based, which is entomologically sound, where it's environmental biologists, and we're using all the new terms that are coming out and we're turning it into and packaging it and rebranding it under holistic pest management. And we're going to take that direct to the consumer and we're going to market that as real pest management, and we're going to prove that it's real pest management. And who are we going to do this with? The newer guys coming in, the millennials. The millennial guys who are coming into this pest control that want to open up pest control businesses that are eco-friendly. I'm not going to waste my time with a 60-something-year-old guy who's basically done in this industry. He's done because in the next 5 years he'll be retired selling his business and he'll be out of this. He's done already. He just doesn't know it. I'm not going to waste my time convincing people. I'm going to convince the end consumer because that's how you do it. You influence the end consumer to be able to sell a product that people are going to demand. You see, guys, I'm not crazy. Well, I am. I mean, you got to be a little crazy to come up with all this stuff. Say it on camera. Say what you're going to do. Give everybody the blueprint. You know why I'm doing it? Because guess what? NPMA isn't going to do this. Neither is any large pest control company. Because those are big ships to turn around. They're not nimble, they're not quick, they're not jack. Yes, I'm still talking.
Why are you still making a video? You've been for 3 hours.
Huh?
Wait, what time is it?
I don't know.
What the heck?
Okay. So, I can talk in the shower. I mean, she hears me. Are you talking to yourself again? Yes, I talk to myself in the car.
You've been making 2 hour video.
No, it's 1 hour. It's 1 hour and 8 minutes on the camera.
Oh my gosh.
Go on.
You're very attached to...
Van Moose?
Huh? I don't know what that is.
She's going to be probably my CEO. She says she wants to be a scientist. But
I want to be a chemist.
I want to be a chemist.
I am good with chemicals.
See what I mean? So anyway, yeah, guys. So that's the weekend review of what... Yeah, I got a haircut, and she says that the guy gave me a bald spot. Let me see, where is it?
Right here.
Right there? Is there a bald spot there, guys? Can you see that?
No, like right here.
Where? Show it. Point it out.
Right there. It's tiny though.
So I think I'm just losing my hair, bro. Look at this, man. I'm just... You guys are making me lose my hair. Oh, no, on the back, definitely. I'm going to need a little something to cover that. I thought about using that Flex Seal and just spraying my head with Flex Seal. It'd be waterproof, and it would look like I can regrow hair. So guys, yeah, this is the weekend review.
Or just put on a wig.
No, I will never put on a wig. I will shoot myself before I put on a wig. I'll shave my head. I told him I'm thinking of shaving my head. What do you think?
I told him that he can sell it to cancer.
Yeah, I can grow out my hair and then donate my hair to people who have cancer and they need wigs. Unfortunately, bro, that's going to take a long time to grow this hair back. So I'm thinking about just shaving my head and walking around with a bald head, because then look, I'm lazy. I don't have to comb it in the morning. I can just go right out.
Puppy, you don't need to comb your hair. You don't even have hair.
Hey guys, this is Frank the Pest Geek wishing you a pestacular day.